Hey everyone, welcome to Ian and Friends Giro Italia edition. I am Ian Dille, FloBikes senior editor.
And I am Michael Sheen. Today we are going to talk about Stage 7, a pretty rapid sprint.
Yeah, it was a flat and fast stage along the coast of mainland Italy. And not a lot to talk about with the breakaway. Katusha was working really hard to get in there. Tony Martin made a few strong efforts. At the end of the day, it was 3 riders. They let him out. They brought him back in a little bit too early because we saw some attacks flying off the front after they came back with about 15K to go. Katusha, Tony Martin made another dig. Alex Dowsett countered, but in the end, it was all about the last few K.
Yeah, not much drama unfolded, and you could just get a sense of the way the peloton felt throughout the day. There was a lot of smiles, a lot of conversation going on in the bunch. They just came off a super hard day. You know, we talked a little bit yesterday about just how hard they raced in the start, and then, of course, finished on Mount Etna. There were some tired legs in there, and nobody, except for maybe Katusha, really wanted to do too much. Everyone was content with letting it be a day for the sprinters.
Yeah, Katusha wasn't making any friends today at the Giro d'Italia.
But good on them. They don't really have a sprinter there.
Yeah,
and
they got to take their chances when they get them, for sure. So it is a bike race, even if everybody else has deemed it a ceasefire rest day.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing about these races is because it's not. They don't want to go out and just kill themselves every day. It's miserable. Like if people decide to just put it in the gutter, race really hard, attack all day, nobody's going to have a good time. So you need the chill sprint days. Everyone kind of looks forward to this in their own way.
Yeah, especially when you had a day like they had yesterday where it was just insanely hard to make the breakaway. The race was on from the gun. So I could see how everybody was sitting back a little bit today, but that didn't make the final 5K of this race any less exciting. It was another just chaotic sprint finish. I mean, obviously Quickstep is, the most dominant team in the sprint so far, but there's a lot of teams that are getting to the front, taking control of this race. Today we saw Lotto NL Jumbo at the front. We saw EF Drapac at the front again.
Yeah, a lot of people fancy their chances in the sprints. You know, it is still a pretty wide open race, but Quickstep they're just so dialed. I personally love just watching Quickstep position in the final 5 kilometers even, because they are just so good at knowing exactly when to move up. In a sprint, we saw a lot of NL Jumbo take it really early, and it's maybe 3K to go. Lotto is going really hard on the front, and you look at Quickstep, they're 30 wheels back, just chilling in the wings, biding their time. And for like some teams can't get away with that, but I don't know if it's because Quickstep is just used to like tiny little Flanders roads or what, but they are just so dialed at coming in at the last possible minute, and they took over the front with about a K to go. And we saw the confidence in the other sprinters that they had in Quickstep also. Sam Bennett was locked on Viviani's wheel, not stressed about being 30 wheels back. Same with Jacob Mareczko. They all just waited for Quickstep to make the move. But do you have something to tell me?
Well, I was going to say, you called it that Sam Bennett was going to win today. My pick was Viviani again. And, I thought the only way someone was going to beat Viviani was by getting a jump on him early. We saw in the second stage of this race, Jacob Mareczko went early, almost got Viviani. But today, Bennett, man, he just played it perfectly. And it was, the ability of these guys to stay upright at 40 miles per hour is insane. Because there was a Quickstep lead-out man coming back, and within 100 meters of the line or so, Bennett just puts his shoulder into him, moves him out of the way, and then gets around Viviani.
Yeah, the mentality of a sprinter in these bunch finishes is you can't hesitate, you can't touch the brakes, you just have to be completely confident in your ability to just drive the bike. And this is when rubbing is racing. You have to be comfortable just brushing elbows and kind of moving people around, and if you get scared in the chaos, you're done.
Yeah, it's impressive that we haven't seen a crash yet.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Plenty of weird crashes in these days that were in Sicily. There would be crashes in the middle of the stage, maybe people just sort of falling asleep. But these sprints everybody's been on their A game.
Yeah, the really dangerous part tends to be when people are jockeying for position going into the sprint, when you're ripping around corners. In the final kilometers, so everybody who's at the front kind of, they're the finishers and they're used to the chaos.
Yeah, I mean, and this was a huge win for Bennett. He's 27 years old. We have an interview on the site with his director, and his director was emotional after the race. You know, he signed Bennett back when Bora was still a Continental team in 2014. And at the time, Bennett was on a Division III Continental team and has really, you know, nurtured him into a world-class sprinter, has, you know, believed in him over these last 4 years.
Yeah, and you know, he's shown the promise. He is so quick, and I think that this is going to be the confidence boost that he needs, because you see sprinters when they get the taste of a big win, you know, I think that this is his first Grand Tour stage win, it kind of tends to perpetuate itself a bit. So I think that we're going to see a little bit more of this from Bennett.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, a little bit further down the results sheet, we're seeing a lot of young sprinters at this race. Van Poppel, Moretsko, Bonifacio. So there's guys that are only 24 years old that they're really cutting their teeth at this Giro.
Sprinting is kind of a young man's game.
Yeah, that's true.
In a way. I mean, think about Sagan bursting onto the scene. What was he, like 20? And just making everyone look dumb at Tour California.
Right. Maybe until you develop the strength to, you know, to maybe apply your skills to other things, but
or just get scared, get old.
Lose the nerves.
Yeah, I can empathize with that.
Yeah, before we move on to what is on tap tomorrow, which is quite an exciting stage, I do want to remind everybody to send us your coffee mugs. Suite 120 979 Springdale Road, Austin, Texas 78702. And they can appear on Ian and Friends.
They'll be featured.
Yes.
Right in front of our millions of fans. Please send us your mugs.
So tomorrow starts off 2 stages in a row, summit finishes. Tomorrow's stage, I love this kind of finish. It's a Category 2 summit finish, so it's not really hard enough that, you know, it's going to be a select GC group. It's long, it's 18 kilometers, but it flattens out. It's kind of 2 sections. The max gradient is only 10%. And the heart of the climb is really the last 8K. Within this last 8K, there are 18 switchbacks. I mean, and they're going to be flying. It's 5% gradient. It's going to be
take a spaghetti noodle and throw it at the wall, and that's about what tomorrow's finish is going to look like.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And so, you know, obviously the GC guys are going to be up there, not wanting to lose any time and potentially get a stage win. But, you know, we could also see the likes of Wellens, you know, other guys that are strong enough not to get dropped on a stage like this.
You know what I would be doing if I was doing this stage tomorrow? Going for the break. I think it's a good day for the breakaway.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to get some climbs about, what is that, 20K into the race, 30K?
There's a good lumpy section right in the middle.
There's going to be a good lumpy section. There's going to be some opportunities if they want to make the race hard. And, you know, like we saw leading into Etna when we had over 20 guys in the breakaway.
Yeah.
Potential for that, and because the climb isn't that severe at the finish, it's going to be a lot easier for the strongest guys from a breakaway to survive up it. You know, it won't be immediately shut down by teams chasing.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. That could definitely be on tap for tomorrow. It's definitely one of those wide open stages that it's not a traditional sort of we know how this is going to play out type stage. So it'll be exciting to see. And then the next day we have another Category 1 summit finish, which will definitely be more of a GC day.
So yeah, big weekend on tap.
Yeah, stay tuned, and we will see you tomorrow for Stage 8 of Ian and Friends.
Thanks for joining.